All right, so anyone joining in will be using a couple of pillows, bed pillows, if you don't have a bolster. So a bolster if you have one, and a couple of bed pillows if not, and then a block, a yoga block. And if you don't have a yoga block at home, you can use really anything that will substitute, but in the softer department. So a couch cushion, another pillow, a rolled up blanket. So all of that will work. And we'll go ahead and get started. You might hear me say that again as people join in if they come late. And let's all join in seated position. And if you want to sit on some height, feel free to do so. We'll just start with some meditation, grounding, and connecting with ourselves. So allow your pelvis to be nice and centered on the earth, on your mat, on the floor, wherever you are, and allow your hands to rest gently on your legs, or if it feels nice, you can clasp your hands together and rest them in your lap. And allow your breath to be nice and full and long, pulling in breath into the belly, into the ribs, into the back of the body. And as you exhale, rest back, settling in and taking the breath fully all the way in, nice and slow and gentle. Exhaling a long breath, letting your neck grow long, letting the tension in the neck and shoulders relax out, flow out. Nice long breaths and long exhales. Seeing if you can notice the very end of the exhale, a little quiet pause before you draw breath in and begin the inhale. And as you inhale, see if you can notice the little tiny pause at the top of the inhale before exhaling again, a nice long, slow cycle of breath. And make sure as you sit and arrive and just feel this conscious connection with your breath, that you're not also tightening anywhere. Sometimes sitting, we can tighten in our neck or shoulders or in our back. So see if you can just allow the skeleton to be nicely stacked. So your head is balanced right on top of the spine, right in the center of the pelvis. So you're not working or contracting any muscles to hold the head up. And then let's open the palms of our hands. Spread the fingers wide, let the elbows reach down, and then gently lift the heart up and take a tiny, tiny back bend, letting the heart energy flow up and the elbows move forward as the hands go back. And then exhale, bring the palms of the hands together and just take a breath, inhaling and exhaling. Now release the hands down to the lap and then bring the chin to the chest. We'll stretch our necks nice and slowly and gently, bringing the chin to the chest, and just for a moment letting the feeling of gravity lengthen the back of the neck, both sides of the neck. Now very gently bring the left ear over toward the left shoulder, lengthening out the right side of the neck. Keeping that right shoulder down. Gently tilt that chin back to the chest and go to second side. Right ear to right shoulder. Left shoulder relaxes down. Full breath in, nice long exhale. And then bring the chin back to the chest, engage the low abdominal muscles, and then lift the head, sort of unfurling your head and neck like a fiddlehead fern. And then bring your left hand to your left shoulder Gently pull the shoulder down, and now bring the right ear towards the right shoulder with the chin in a neutral position. You can bring that right hand out, stretch it out, fingertips wide. Fully breathing into the belly, exhaling. And then bring the chin back up, the head back to center. And now second side, right hand to right shoulder, gently pull that shoulder down, and then bring that left ear to left shoulder. And then bring that left hand out, fingertips spread wide. And bring the head back up to center. Circle the shoulders up to the ears and back down, taking a few shoulder rolls. Now let the spine undulate and move as you bring the shoulders up and back down. You can tip forward and back on your mat. And exhale to come back to center. Now bring the fingertips right behind the head at the base of the skull and just sort of bring the fingertips into the skull. You can give a little massage back there for a moment. And then let the head fall back into the hands. Now lift, gently lift the head up, lengthening the throat, lengthening the chin up, and taking a little back bend with the upper back, letting the elbows go wide, and letting the head be supported by the fingertips here. So the weight of the head is not all being held by the neck. You're using your arms, and you're also getting a back stretch and strengthener here. Lengthening the torso, the abdominal muscles here, opening up the back, opening up the chest, and keeping those elbows wide, strengthening the shoulders here. Now use the hands to bring the head right back on top of the spine. Relax the shoulders down and the hands down. And then let's bring the arms out to the side, inhaling, lifting the heart and the chest. Exhaling, bring the fingers together, intertwine the fingers, and reverse the hands and stretch out the back by doming the spine. Inhaling to open. And exhaling, intertwining the fingers. Exhaling. One more time, opening up the arms, stretching the fronts of the shoulders. And exhaling, bringing the hands together, rounding out the spine. And then inhaling back to center, bring the arms up, reach the fingertips up, lift the heart up through the fingertips. And then exhale, bend the elbows and bring the right elbow on top of the left, coming into eagle arms. And if the hands can come together, the palms of the hands, that's fine. If not, the backs of the hands is fine. So you can gently lift the arms to feel the stretch into the area between the shoulder blades. And you can also bring the hands forward a little bit. And then untangle the arms, open the arms up, and now come to second side. So left elbow over right, bringing the hands together, gently lifting the elbows, bringing them back down, and then bringing the hands forward. And then releasing the hands, bringing them back behind you, fingers facing toward me. Press down into the hands and then lift the heart and chest, and we'll take a little counter stretch here, lengthening the fronts of the arms, the fronts of the shoulders, and then let the head go back. Now bring the head back up, move the hands out to the side, the fingers can go in any direction that feels natural here, and then bend into the left elbow, look out over your right shoulder, and now come to second side, looking out over the left shoulder. And just do a few of these at your own pace, just going side to side. Stretching into the whole shoulder girdle, the upper arm, the wrist. Great, and then coming forward. Now take your left arm up and bringing it across to the outside of the right knee, and then let's take a twist back behind us. Twisting with the belly and the torso and the chest and then the gaze. Inhale forward, we'll come to second side, right hand over left knee. And then reach around, twisting, keeping the collarbones wide, twisting from the low belly, from the torso and the chest, and then the gaze. And now let's go side to side a couple of times, just at your own breathing pace, just exhaling as you turn, inhaling to come center, exhaling to twist back. Inhaling to center, one more time each side, twisting back on the exhale. Inhaling to center, one more time, twisting back behind you. And then coming forward. Now bring the legs out and then switch the cross of the legs. And then we're gonna just hinge forward, so bring your hands to your hips and just hinge forward for a moment, lengthening the spine, and then bring the hands to the floor and then go ahead and take a forward fold. If your low back is feeling sensitive, don't go very low. If it feels good, just go ahead and take a nice forward fold, lengthening the spine, exhaling all the air, taking a few more breaths. And then rounding up on your next inhale. And on your exhale, come to hands and knees. And place your hands thoughtfully underneath your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. And exhale to round the spine, release the head. Inhale to arch the spine. Doing our cat-cow here with your own breath. Exhaling to round. Inhaling to arch. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Exhaling to round. Inhaling to arch. Now come back to neutral spine and bring your left hip toward your left shoulder and reach around and look back towards your left hip. Now moving your neck thoughtfully, go to the second side. Right hip scrunches in and then you look back. So we're gonna go side to side now, but let this be a nice, beautiful lengthening of the neck as well. So you're stretching out your sides of the waist, as well as getting this nice movement in the neck. Let's do one more each side. And then come back to center, turn your toes under, and then bring your hips back towards your toes. Now go side to side, just move the hips back and forth a little bit to stretch out the toes, stretch out the feet, the arches of the feet, the fascia, all those little tiny toe bones, especially in the big toe joint. You can really feel it there, and in the arch of the foot. And then inhale, come forward, bring the tops of the feet on the mat and come to sit on your heels for a moment and grab one of your bed pillows and either your block or a couch cushion, a second pillow. And we're gonna come into child's pose, so bring your knees wide, bring the pillow right into your hip hinge, and then we'll come forward. Yeah, really tuck that pillow in. And then come forward to take a supported child's pose and then rest your head on the pillow, or if you have a block, you can rest your head on the block. So we'll take a few breaths here, about 4 or 5 breaths here. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable with your props. And if you have your head going in one direction, then go ahead and change it to the other side. We'll take about 2 or 3 more breaths on the other side. Take a nice full inhale, lift the head, come back to your seat, moving the props out of the way. And place your hands on the mat once again, turn the toes under, and then lift the knees a couple of inches, engage the low belly, bringing the belly button back toward the spine. Take a big full inhale, and on your exhale, bring the hips up and back, coming into our downward dog. So gently bend the left knee, lengthening the right heel down toward the mat. And now switching sides, lengthening the left heel down, bending the right knee. Now sending both heels down, widening the feet, lengthening those hips up and back. And now take your right hand and bring it back towards your left thigh, or if you can reach down towards your left ankle or your left shin, and press down strongly into your left hand and into both of your heels. This is a good strong twist and a challenge pose, so you might feel your muscles working here. If it's too hard, come down and rest at any point. One more full breath in, and on your exhale, bring that right hand back to the mat. Take a full inhale and exhale here in down dog, in our wide-legged down dog. Now press down into the right hand, lift the left hand and reach that back, grabbing the outer right shin or up higher. It's a little easier on the shoulder. If your shoulder is feeling challenged, you can bring the hand up higher to the right thigh. Take a full inhale, and on your exhale, replace that hand, bring the feet back together. And on your next inhale, step the right foot forward between the hands, bring the left knee down, place the right hand inside the left foot, and let's take a twist up to the sky. Bend that left elbow, and then gently bring that elbow back behind the body, bringing a little bit of twist up toward the sky. Exhale that hand down. Now bring that left hand inside the left foot and then heel toe that foot out to the side so that foot is now in a wide, that leg is in a wider shape. Place the hand down, and in our lizard pose, we're just gonna lean into that front knee, stretching out the right thigh, the hip flexors, the hip joint there. And now let that left knee come out to the left. Now, if you feel any discomfort in your knee, don't just skip this and keep the knee straight up. Otherwise, let that knee go out to the left. And then bring it back in. And now hug that left knee into your left tricep. And just feel that, that left hip connecting into the hip socket, stretching that right hip and the right hip flexors. Great. Now we're going to turn the back toes under, engage the low abdominals, and step back into a plank pose. Reach those heels back, slide the shoulder blades down the back. Belly button is moving toward the spine. And a long line all the way from the base of the spine out through the tops of the ears. Now bring the knees down, hug the elbows in toward the chest, come onto your belly, and then slide your arms forward to come into Sphinx pose. Press down into your arms and lift your chest forward and up. Big full inhale. On your exhale, slide the hands back, press up through chaturanga and then to plank, and then exhale your way down into down dog. On your next inhale, step the right foot forward, bring the left knee down. Top of the foot is on the mat with the back foot. Bring the left hand down below the left shoulder and inhale that right arm up to the sky. Bend that left elbow and twist from your low belly and your low ribs to take a further twist. Great, exhale that right hand down, but this time to the inside of the foot. Heel toe the foot out to the edge of the mat, and the foot is going in the same direction as the knee. So your foot is angled out toward the edge of the mat a bit here. Just lean into that front knee and feel that stretch on the back left leg. And now let that right knee go out to the side. Again, only if this is okay on your knee. If this feels uncomfortable, then skip it. And now hug that right knee in toward the right tricep. Engage the low belly, and you can feel the whole body working here, both stretching and strengthening at the same time. Great, now you're gonna bring that foot back in, and you're gonna bring it all the way across the mat, because we're gonna set up now for our pigeon pose. So bringing that right leg across. Now, if your hips are tight, you can bring a pillow underneath the right hip so that your hips are more level. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and imagine you're both pushing down and lifting up with the heart. Pushing down with the hands, lifting up with the heart. Widening the collarbones, sliding shoulder blades down the back. Take a big full inhale, and on your exhale, fold forward to come into our more full pigeon pose. Breathing into the back body, the back of the waist. Going right to the edge of the sensation and not pushing too far. So if it feels like it's hurting too much, just backing out. Imagine anchoring that right hip back and the left hip forward as a way to kind of level out the hips, even in this asymmetry. Take a big full inhale, and on your exhale, place your hands and step that right foot back to come into downward dog. On your next inhale, step that left foot forward and bring your right knee down and bring that foot across to come into our pigeon second side. So if you need height on this side, feel free to place it just under the left hip. Hands underneath shoulders and lengthening up first. Proud pigeon here. Belly forward. And lengthening the spine and widening the shoulders, and then letting the head go back. Big full inhale. Exhale to fold forward over that front leg. Allowing the breath to be nice and full in the back of the body. Breathing into the back of the waist. Big full inhale, and on your exhale, begin to push your way up. Bring your right leg forward, and then we're going to come into a wide-legged pose. And so if you're rounding in the low back, then go ahead and sit on some height, lifting up the pelvis and tilting it so that your spine can be long here. Ankles are flexed, toes are pointed up toward the ceiling. And then bring your hands to your hips and just anchor those hips and thighs down. And then just take a simple forward fold here, hinging at the hips rather than rounding the spine. So that's a reminder there to keep those thighs down. And now bring your hands forward. And imagine dragging your hands back toward you. So lengthening the spine, lengthening the front of the chest. And then we're going to exhale and come over to the right side and walk our hands over and grab onto our foot, ankle, thigh, wherever you are, and then just take a nice forward fold, bringing the forehead down toward the leg. And then inching up and then walking the hands all the way over to the other side and folding over that leg. And then inhaling your way back up and coming onto your back. Rolling down nice and slow. And then bringing the knees up, lifting the head with the elbows wide. And rather than letting the elbows come forward, keep the elbows wide and let your head rest in your hands. Now extend the right leg long, keeping the left knee up and not coming toward the body, never more than perpendicular. Now let's switch so that right knee comes in, left leg is long. Your head and torso are just lifted. You're hovering that left leg above the floor. And then we'll switch. Again, keeping that knee from coming in too close, that makes it easier. And one more time, switch. Now bring both knees in, bring the head down, hug the knees into the chest and give a little rock back and forth, up and down. And release the knees. Once again, bring the knees straight up from the body, hands behind the head, lift the chest as much as possible, but let the head rest back in the hands. So you can even just feel the abdominal work of letting your head rest in your hands here. Now we're going to extend the right leg long and bring that right shoulder to the left knee. Back to center. Extend the left leg. Now bring the left shoulder toward right knee. And we'll go back and forth nice and slow. You'll probably feel your abdominal shaking pretty soon. And we're really trying to reach more of the shoulder rather than the elbow toward that opposite knee. Let's do 2 more on each side. Great. Release, bringing the feet down toward the mat. And bring those heels in nice and close to the sits bones. Let the arms rest down alongside the body and just take a nice full resting breath for a moment. Now to do a counter pose to stretch our back in the other direction and lengthen our abdominal muscles that we just worked. We're going to press into our feet. Lift our hips, lift our back. Now keep your chin from crunching in toward your chest. Gently press into the back of the head, keeping the neck long and the curve in the cervical spine in place. And now let's bring our hands under our arms and hands underneath us to come into bridge pose, pressing down into the feet, lifting the hips, and pressing down strongly into those arms. Now the chin is going to want to crunch down to the chest, so keep an awareness of keeping the front of the neck long. Pressing down into the feet. Using the thighs to keep you up and using less glutes. A lot of times the glutes turn on really hard. So see if the glutes can stay a little softer and you can feel the inner thighs really turning on and the quads. So we're going to inhale. Now exhale, unwind the arms and bring the back and the torso and pelvis back down onto the body. And then let the feet go out wide and bring the knees to rest against one another. And you can bring your hands to your chest or to your belly and just take a few minutes to, or a few breaths here to relax. Now, if you have a block, we're going to do a restorative or a restorative bridge, basically using props. So if you have a brick, you can use that, and if not, you can use a pillow or two. So we're gonna once again have our heels in close to our sits bones, press into our feet, and then lifting the torso, we're gonna bring the block underneath the sacrum. So not under the low back, but under the back of the pelvis. So that wide flat bone there rather than the low back. And then I'm going to adjust my shoulders and my head so that my neck isn't holding any tension. And then this should feel good. This should feel like a nice resting posture. So taking a few moments here to just arrive. Now, if you like to bring your shoulders underneath your back to lengthen and open the chest, you can do so. Otherwise, you can just let the shoulder blades lay flat on the mat. And then again, making sure that the neck is not crunched at all. Now, lengthen your left leg, keeping your right knee bent, and then you can feel that lengthening. You can let the foot open out to the side, and you'll feel that lengthening all the way on the psoas, the hip flexors, the top of the left thigh. And now bend that left knee, placing that left foot on the floor. And now let's extend the right leg, letting the foot turn out and letting that nice long stretch from the belly all the way down through the thigh. Now bend that right knee, place the foot on the mat, press into the feet, and let's lift the hips and release the block. Come onto your back and just take a nice resting breath on your back for a moment. Now turn onto your side and roll on up. And let's cross our ankles and come forward into hands and knees. And then into downward dog. You'll want to have your block nearby if you have a block, or basically if you use any modification for triangle pose. Step your right foot forward, scoot your left foot out about a couple of inches, and then place the heel down so that the foot is at 45 degrees. Now imagine scissoring those feet together so that your foundation is nice and strong. You're imagining pulling your right foot back and your left leg forward, so that should turn on the legs. And then we're going to inhale to come into warrior one. So I'm reaching powerfully through my back leg, the outer edge of my back foot, and I'm sitting into my front knee. I'm anchoring my right hip back and my left hip forward, and I'm engaging my quad to keep my left knee safe. Then I'm going to lift up through my heart and reach, because my foundation is strong. I'm going to reach now and expand with my upper body. On my next inhale, I'm going to reach up and lift, and on my exhale, I'm going to come into warrior two. Now straightening that front leg. This is where if you'd like to have your yoga block, feel free to place it just behind your right shin. Otherwise, we're going to reach forward and then bring that right hand down to wherever feels right on your leg or on the floor or on the brick, and then lift that left arm up. Now we're going to twist with the low belly up to the sky. Now you can take that left arm back behind you and take a little twist, letting the heart reach up toward the ceiling. Now exhale, bring that hand down, bend the right knee, step back into plank pose, engaging the low belly. And now you can either come onto your belly and take a baby cobra pose, or you can go through chaturanga into upward dog. So choose which feels right on your back and on your energy level. If you're going through chaturanga, we're bending our elbows in and then inhaling up into upward dog. Reaching our chest forward and up, not hyperextending the back of the neck. And taking a full inhale and exhaling back into downward dog. Walk the right foot out a couple of inches, and then inhale the left foot forward, spin that right heel in, and now pull those feet toward one another to create a nice, strong foundation here in the hips and the legs. That back leg is super strong, and then with your next inhale, come up into our warrior one. Back leg is really strong, powering through the outer edge of that back right foot, anchoring the left hip back and the right hip forward. Then I'm sitting deeply into that front knee, and then I'm extending and expressing with my upper body, feeling that my back working, as well as lengthening and stretching. Inhale to reach, and then exhale, we'll come into warrior two, extending that left leg, grabbing your block if you want to, and then reaching the left hand forward, coming into our triangle pose, second side, twisting, not by yanking our top arm back, but by lengthening and twisting from the trunk of the body. And then if you like, you can take this into a nice extended back bend, lengthening the heart up to the sky. Big inhale, and on your exhale, bring the hand down, step back into downward dog, and take a couple of resting breaths in down dog. On your next inhale, step or walk forward to a forward fold. Grab your yoga block or a pillow. Let's say you don't have a block, you can fold a pillow in half. You might even take two pillows, we'll see. You can see how this goes for your body. Place your right hand down on the block or on the pillows. Bend your right knee, left knee is straight. Press down into that right hand underneath the right shoulder, and then inhale to take a twist up to the left. You should feel that down through the left glute, back of the left leg. Big inhale, exhale to come back to center. Now bending the left knee and twisting that right arm up to the sky, feeling that nice deep stretch in the right glute. One more big inhale, and exhale, come down, back down into forward fold. Move your props out of the way, bend the knees, and bring the feet out. Sorry, you should widen the feet first, widen the legs, and come down into a little squat. Place the hands down on the mat and use your elbows to press into your feet, and just rock forward, opening the legs and stretching out the groin and the inner thighs. Great, and then come to sit on your bottom and grab your pillows. We're gonna actually pretty much grab everything you have. So now comes the fun part. We're gonna do some restorative poses. And so take your pillows and place them horizontally across your mat, and then take your block or an extra pillow, whichever you've got, and bring it above. So we're gonna go on into a side stretch. So you're gonna bring those pillows, your hip right up to the pillow. Then we're gonna lengthen our body across the pillows, or if you have a bolster. So I'm gonna kind of tuck it in so it's nice and firm under my ribs. And then I'm gonna bring my pillow under my head. It's a little easier for me to use a block because I need it higher. So if you need to, you can grab an extra pillow so that your head is in a very comfortable position. And you're gonna bring your, let's see, how I'm remembering the arms on this. So your bottom arm is just resting and your top arm is placed on the pillow for now. So go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable position here in this supported side lying stretch with your legs are just bent, your knees are bent, and it's comfortable. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring that top arm over your head and then place it on the mat behind you. So your right elbow is bent. Now, if it feels good, you can lengthen it first, like just stretch it over your head, but you may want to just bring the hand down. So now we're stretching out also the shoulder and the side of the body here. So we'll take a few breaths. You should feel this nice lengthening in the ribs, the intercostal muscles between the ribs get a chance to lengthen and fan out. And then, of course, there's the arm getting its stretch. The belly can be relaxed and soft, and your neck shouldn't be holding any tension. So it's important that you've got enough support under your head or neck. Now, if you want more stretch, you can lower the pillow or the support, which gives a little more stretch to the side body and the neck. And we'll take one more big inhale and a nice long exhale. And then extend that right arm up to the sky. Push your head support back behind you. And then just open up, take a little twist, taking that right arm and opening it out, lengthening and stretching the chest, taking a twist to the back body and letting that head turn all the way to the right or as far as it feels comfortable. I'm spreading my fingers wide, so it's really, gravity is helping to lengthen this right arm and right shoulder. The whole length of my arm is getting stretched right now. And now inhale, come back to your side. Now place your right hand down and help support and push yourself up out of this pose. Move nice and slowly. And we'll come to our second side. Moving slowly and gently as we're in our restorative mode now. So bringing now the pillows to the right hip and scrunching those pillows in if you don't have an actual bolster, and then placing whatever support you're using for your head, and then reaching the body over onto your now right side, resting your head, letting the right arm just rest down, and your left arm is also resting on your pillow or bolster, and then taking some breaths and just arriving in this pose, making sure the head is the right height. I want to make mine a little higher so I don't have as much stretch in my neck. And then take the left arm up to the sky and overhead for a moment. And then bend the left elbow and place that hand on the mat behind you. Now, if that's uncomfortable or just feels wrong on your shoulder, then just keep it back here or find another place. Maybe there's another place that it feels good. The idea is to really just lengthen the side of the body, the shoulder blade, the shoulder joint. Belly is relaxed, breathing is nice and even. I'm going to adjust the height for my head support. And now let's inhale that left arm up to the sky. Well, actually, before we do that, we'll push that head support back behind us. Now lift that left arm up to the sky and take a twist over to the left, letting the gaze look out over the left elbow. Nice full belly breath in. A nice long exhale. Now bring that left arm back over and use it to help push you up. And we'll now go into our next decadent restorative pose by bringing the pillows right to our low back. And you probably won't need anything for your head, but have your extra pillow or block close by. And then leaning back over and letting the head rest on the floor, bringing the arms to a T shape with the palms up. Now extending the legs long, if that feels okay. If you prefer to keep your knees bent, that's okay too. You could always bring the feet wide and let the knees rest on one another. Or you can lengthen the legs, making sure that the bolster is primarily under the upper back. Because I'm using bed pillows, it goes to my lower back too. And that's okay as long as it feels safe on the low back. And then letting the head rest on the mat and letting the shoulders slide down, opening up the shoulders, the chest, and also the front of the neck. The back of the neck lengthens, but we want to make sure we're not crunching the front of the neck. So opening the throat, let the jaw open. You can just open your mouth, stick out your tongue. And then let your mouth relax, the jaw relax. And just enjoy this restorative shape. Taking your time to breathe. And make any little wiggles or adjustments so that it feels good in this shape. If for any reason it doesn't, you can change it up completely. These restorative poses are so great for stress reduction, which really helps our immune systems. So being able to really thoughtfully and carefully care for ourselves as we relax and hold our body in supported shapes is very nurturing for many systems of the body. It's good for our lymphatic system and our cardiovascular system. And, you know, the nervous system. When we feel rested and we feel safe and at ease, it does a lot of good for our body staying well, staying sane, and getting through challenging times. So just letting yourself melt for a few more breaths. Noticing the rise and the fall of your belly. And then bending the knees very slowly and gently, and letting the knees fall over to the left, and then bringing your right hand over and gently pulling yourself up. And bringing your pillows now to the other side and rolling on. We're just going to leave the props for a moment. Rolling onto your back, hugging the knees into the chest. And then bringing the hands out wide in a T shape with the palms face down and creating just a little bit of muscle engagement with the arms and the low belly as we bring the knees gently over to the left. They may come all the way to the ground or not, and looking out to the right. Now back to center. Now let the knees come over to the right and look out to the left. One more time in each direction. Knees go to the left, gaze goes to the right. Stretching out the belly, getting a nice twist in the low back and in the mid and upper back as well. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. And then back to center. Bring the feet down to the mat and let the knees, the feet go out wide, and then let the knees just rest against one another. Bring the arms alongside the body or onto the chest or the belly. If your hands are on your belly or on your chest, feel the body moving toward the hands. As you breathe, just noticing with gentle, easy touch, just the movement of the body with the breath. And finally, we're going to roll onto our sides. And now for our last restorative shape, we're going to take the block or the pillow and make a little height with your props, and then take your bed pillows. And I really find my way into the sunbeam every day this time. All right, so I think you can see me here. Let's go like that. There we go. So now we're going to come onto our back, and we're going to use this little ramp as our leg lift. Now, you might be able to get more lift under here. The higher, the better in a sense. It's a pretty nice restorative posture to have the legs going up the body, going up away from the body. And then go ahead and rest the back and wiggle yourself into a posture that feels nice and comfortable. We'll be here for a few breaths until we go into our Shavasana. So you want to feel like you can just rest here. So there's probably going to be a little bit of turnout in the feet. I like to rest my hands on my chest or my belly, but you can also bring the arms out to the side, palms up, letting the inner shoulders open up, the chest relax back. And we'll just take some nice, relaxing, restorative breaths here. Noticing the rise and the fall of the belly. Notice if you're holding any tension anywhere and see if you can gently wiggle that out, gently relax or release anything that's holding unconsciously. Sometimes I just gently move my head side to side to make sure I'm not holding tension in my neck. Nice full belly breaths. Nice long exhales. Now you're welcome to stay in this shape, this restorative shape with your legs up the props, or if you'd like to take your last few breaths in Shavasana, feel free to just remove the props and bring your legs down. And then begin to deepen the breath. Maybe start to wiggle the toes or the fingers. And if you're on your bolster and your pillows, feel free to move those out of the way and slowly taking a few breaths, find your way back to seated. And as we arrive in our seated shape, let's just give some attention to our necks again and release the chin back to the chest. Now gently bring that right ear toward right shoulder. And back to center and left ear towards left shoulder. And back to center, and then bring the head back up, and let's take our hands and just give some massage to the back of the neck and to the shoulders and the trapezius muscles. And now let's take our hands out to the side, palms open wide, elbows down by our sides, opening our hearts, taking in the nourishment of this gentle and thoughtful time with yourself, with your body, stretching and moving and caring for your whole body and being. Take that in and absorb it. Try to just drink in that goodness, that wellness, to fortify us through these days. On our next exhale, let's bring the palms of our hands together above our heart. Taking a big full inhale and a nice long exhale. I honor the resilience and the wellness in each and every one of you. Namaste. All right. Well, Ella and Kathy, thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't believe more people aren't here. We need this more than ever.
I know, I know. Well, maybe they're out marching.
Okay. This was
Hey,
wonderful.
I've got a question for you too, since I have you here. How did it go this evening with the props? Like, how were you able to kind of find your way with using pillows and?
Yeah.
It worked
And
okay.
I found this a little bit more challenging than like last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the poses or the restorative?
Oh, yeah, the poses. Yeah. For me, I'm sure Ella didn't have a hard time, but I did.
No, it's helpful. It's helpful to get feedback. I had so much planned for tonight. It's funny because it was another hot day, and but yet I packed in a lot of poses. I wanted to give it. I'm trying to kind of go more the direction of about the first half of the class is movement and stretching and strengthening, and then the second half is kind of more restorative, because I think we really need that more than ever.
That's for sure.
So anyway, but and do either one of you have yoga blocks at home, or did you just use pillows?
Yeah, I have blocks.
You did?
Pillows.
Okay.
And I use pillows as well. I use both.
Okay. All right, super. Well, thanks for the feedback, ladies.
Of course. Thank you so much. See you
soon. Take care. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye-bye.